into a family business, for me, I believed the only person who could be entrepreneurial was if you set up a business. And yes, that is true. But it is not the only outcome of being entrepreneurial. There are so many outcomes of when we put on our entrepreneurial thinking hats, of when we behave entrepreneurially. Because we are all born with the entrepreneurial mindset. But this mindset is one that we develop throughout our lives. It is a lifelong journey. And just as I would do if I was going on a holiday, as you would do, on a holiday or a journey of adventure and excitement, we would pack our suitcase. And that's exactly what we do when we go on a lifelong journey of developing our entrepreneurial mindset. I pack my entrepreneurial suitcase. And in packing that entrepreneurial suitcase, it's important to understand that it doesn't matter who I am or what I do or who you are or what you do. What is important is the fact that we have that entrepreneurial mindset. And for me, there are 11 items that I pack in my entrepreneurial suitcase. And when I start reflecting on this mindset, I realize that the importance of relationships, of building relationships. So the first item that I put in my entrepreneurial suitcase are pictures of my family. For me, my family is my anchor point. They symbolize to me relationships of trust, of honesty, of understanding, and most importantly, of authenticity. Because they listen to me unconditionally. They support me authentically. But in those pictures, I also have my 8 amazing and wonderful nieces and nephews. And I bring those pictures with me because they help me to recall my curiosity. I have the pictures of when we've had such fun and such laughter in solving different things, exploring our curiosity. It could be building a sandcastle, solving a puzzle, or solving an amazing math project. It didn't matter, and it doesn't matter. It's about opening our curiosity. Something, for some reason, I don't know why, but as we get older, we tend to abandon it. We disengage with our curiosity. And Simon Sinek would say to us, don't. Ask the question, why? Because when we ask the question, why, we are exploring our curiosity. We are igniting our brain. We are on fire. And we are exploring it. Don't lose your curiosity. And that reminds me then of curiosity and the power of knowledge. And what that can do in developing our entrepreneurial mindset. So for me, in that suitcase will come my books. And those books may be technical books. They could be books with certain expertise that I'll require to call upon for different times and different situations. But I'll also bring books of leisure because it's important to take time out. I'll bring books that will help me to explore my out-of-thinking box. Books that will help me to get to know who I am. And some of those books that I have there are books about the legacy and the jersey. about the great New Zealand All Black team, who perform wonderfully on the pitch, the world pitch of rugby. A team that I've learned through their experiences, where they take the exact same pride and passion in cleaning their dressing room, in wearing that all black jersey, to the same passion on that pitch when they perform wonderfully as a team, when they excel and they bring together their collegiality and they rock it out of the water. But I also bring other books that help me, as I said, to understand a little bit about me. And one of those is Susan Cain's book, The Quiet Power. Because as an introvert, it hasn't always been easy for me to share my voice. And that has been for different reasons, in different situations. And how sad is it not to be able to share my voice? So for me, that is sad. But what's much sadder is the lost opportunity for me to develop my mind by sharing it. And the lost opportunity for you by not hearing my voice. But as well as that, it helps me to realize and to build an empathy for those around me. Because there are other people around me who cannot share their voice for different reasons, for fear, for lack of confidence. So I need to develop my empathy and bring those voices out. Let those voices be heard so I can develop my entrepreneurial mindset. And of course, I realize that's risky. Sharing your voice as an introvert is risky. And that helps me to recall the fact of taking risk in developing your entrepreneurial mindset. But it's not any risk. It's a calculated risk. And that's the next item that I put in my bag, on my entrepreneurial suitcase, my piece of rope. You might ask, Breda, why a piece of rope? Because that rope reminds me of when we use it to secure things, when we use it to keep things safe. And it is strong, it is resilient. What we need to be in developing our entrepreneurial mindset. But it also helps me to recall a moment in time, over, shall I say, 35 years ago perhaps, when I was a scout leader. And as a scout leader, you never ask a scout to do something you wouldn't do yourself. So the day we decided, as a troop, we were going to go rock climbing and abseiling, well, let me just tell you, I was sick to the pit of my stomach. The fear of doing that was, my Lord, oh my God, how can I do this? You got to do this, Breda. You're the scout leader, you got to do it. And I did. And over 35 years later, I can still recall that feeling of abseiling that rock, holding down that rope, fear in my tummy. But I wasn't doing it on my own. That rope was attached. I had the security gear. People were holding on to me as I abseiled down with the fear in my tummy. But I still recall when I landed firmly on my 2 feet when I got off that rock. Wow, what a sense of achievement. I had gone outside my comfort zone. I had conquered, I was elated, I was so successful. Wow. And that reminds me not about just taking the calculated risk or being resilient, but the power of emotion. Fear, joy, excitement. The power of emotional intelligence in developing our entrepreneurial mindset is critical and never underestimated. But again, I suppose then I come back to the fact that I was that scout leader. I was role modeling. And that's really important in developing the mind. And that helps me to recall the other item that I pack in my entrepreneurial suitcase. And this is the plaque that was presented to me when I was awarded the status of a Kerry ambassador a few years back. And that was awarded to me for the work that was observed that I do so unconditionally, for the region that I so love, for the region that I am so proud of, and that is the Kerry region in the southwest of Ireland. And being a role model is really important. But it also helps me to recall on my role models. Who are your role models? Parents, my family, my friends, my colleagues, my peers, students, children. Who are my role models? And when I'm in situations that I can't solve, I need to be entrepreneurial, I'll recall something that one of my role models did. Or better still, I'll connect with them and ask them, what should I do? Having those role models is really important for all of us. But it also helps me to recall things they will say to me, behaviors or actions they will do. And that brings me to what Drew Dudley talks about, and that is those lollipop moments. So I'll pack in my suitcase my lollipop. Because my lollipop allows me to recall those moments in time where somebody has said something or done something that helped me to solve a problem, and I had a eureka moment. There and then, it got sorted. Or someone said something to me that drew me so far back and knocked me so far back that it had huge negative impact. So what that lollipop does is helps me to remind myself that in developing my mindset and those around me, the importance of the power of word and to think before I speak. And to use the double of what I had been given, 2 of these and 2 of these, to engage in active listening and visualization. And that is important. And it is important when I'm looking at it from the point of view of realizing that it's not just me, it's about others. So opening the word and talking to others helps me to understand in that development of that mindset, the power of networks. So what I'd always bring with me will be my phone and my business cards. And they will come in my suitcase. Why? Because they will help me to connect, to stay connected, but more importantly, to be connected. Because it is so easy for me to connect with those I know. It is so easy for me to stay connected to my familiar setting. It is far more important in developing that mindset to take that calculated risk, to go outside my comfort zone and introduce myself to new networks. Because it's through those networks that I open one door and another door, another door, and another door, and another door. And in opening those doors, what a landscape. What an opportunity I have to explode my mindset. And that reminds me to realize of packing what is for me really important. And that is my plaque. And Coro and Paro, which is attributed to Michelangelo. And that means I am still learning. We are never too old to learn. We are never too young to learn. Every experience we have in our personal life, in our professional lives, is a learning moment. And we have to see the value of that. Because through our experiences, whether that's learning how to swim, or learning how to drive, or taking on a new career path, it doesn't matter. The value of being able to learn, to unlearn, and relearn. To learn, unlearn, and relearn. But there is one remaining item. Because for me, the absolute foundation, the cornerstone of, the core of the entrepreneurial mindset and its development is the concept of self. And so, for me, the most important item in that entrepreneurial suitcase is my mirror. And why? Because when I look in that mirror, I can ask myself the question, who am I? And more importantly, where do I want to be? And as I help myself to answer those questions and call on my entrepreneurial mindset, I can help to develop my self-confidence, my locus of control, my self-esteem, my self-belief, my self-emotion. Because until I develop me, until I know who I am, I can't help you. I can't help you develop your entrepreneurial mindset until I can do it my own myself. But there's one more reason that I bring this as my most important item. And that is because this mirror, this very item, tells me to take time out. Time out to reflect. Reflect on my experiences. Reflect on what went so well and why. Reflect on what didn't go so well and why. But to reflect on my life's experiences. And through those experiences, I develop my entrepreneurial mindset. And so, with those 11 items in my suitcase, I'm pretty much packed and ready to go. Because with that mindset, it doesn't matter who we are. It doesn't matter what discipline we are. Whether it's retail, or entertainment, or medicine, or education, or science, or engineering, or guiding, it does not matter. We all have the capacity to be entrepreneurial. We all have the capacity to think entrepreneurially because we all have an entrepreneurial mindset. And what I would ask you to do is for you to take time out. Take out the mirror. Have a look. Who are you? Where do you want to go? What do you want to put in your entrepreneurial suitcase so you too can have the joy and excitement that I experience every day by learning to develop and explore my entrepreneurial mindset throughout my life? Because that is what I've enjoyed doing to date, and I look forward to doing for a long time to come. And I invite you to do the same. Get your suitcase packed. Come on a journey. We're off.